Australia's world first social media ban for under 16s has just been passed. But this has stirred up huge concern with potential government ID facial recognition systems being put in place. But this would be a huge privacy breach on all ages.
To ban the use of social media apps for anyone under the age of 16.
We're going to dive into all of this today, so make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any videos. Let's get into it.
It's passed in the resolved in the affirmative.
Tonight, Australia taking an unprecedented step, becoming the first country in the world to ban the use of social media apps for anyone under the age of 16. But the law is facing fierce opposition, including from the big tech companies and Elon Musk, who wrote on X, seems like a backdoor way to control access to the internet by all Australians. And others, including some teens, are questioning how a law like this will be enforced.
It will only create a generation of young people who will be more technologically literate in bypassing these walls.
And Liz, that is such a good point. How is this law going to be enforced?
I mean, that really is the big question right now, and there's not a lot of specifics in the law right now, Gotti. We do know that it could be that they use some sort of technology that's able to estimate someone's age based on a video, or maybe they're going to require users upload documentation proving their age. It's going to be up to the tech companies to figure this out. They have a year to do so before the law takes effect in 2026.
The scary thing is that it's been passed, but we don't know the systems that are going to put this in place. They've just been trialing all of these kind of systems, which rightfully so you should feel pretty uncomfortable with.
Striding towards Christmas with a cheer, one chuffed Prime Minister.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Anthony Albanese celebrating a Senate success.
What we're doing is getting things done.
A long night in the upper house
That the Senate do now adjourn.
Yeah, okay.
after a mad rush to ram through more than 30 bills.
Sometimes it's a frustrating chamber, to say the least, and difficult to progress legislation.
But progress was made, 45 pieces of legislation passing this week, majority of them sailing through overnight, including contentious changes to toughen up migration laws and a bold social media ban for teenagers.
This is a rubbish bill. It has no substance.
Bold social media ban for teenagers.
The Australian Parliament always seem to be pushing bills through as fast as they can. We need more checks and balances with these things, especially if we don't know the systems that are going to be put in place and we just pass it. It's scary stuff.
This is a rubbish bill. It has no substance.
We are not sure yet whether this hasty, blunt attempt will do anything to reduce the social harms.
Clearly, we should be doing something, but this is not the way to do it.
A handful of coalition members crossing the floor, despite amendments made ensuring Australians over 16 years won't have to provide digital identification.
Platforms now have a social responsibility to ensure the safety of our kids is a priority for them.
The world-first legislation making worldwide headlines.
Its Senate approved the world's strictest laws.
And copping criticism from global tech giant Meta, labelling the process rushed.
I think we should treat the concerns of social media companies with the world's largest grain of salt.
That the House do now adjourn and wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a peaceful and joyous New Year.
Don't you just get the impression 47 bills passed? All right, Merry Christmas and see you next year. Let's not talk about anything more. Let's move it right on.
We have successfully disillusioned a whole generation of Australians with Australian politics. A whole generation of Australians have watched this saga. I mean, maybe we've scheduled the debate for 10:30 p.m. on the last day of school because we know that all the people that'll be impacted by this ban will be at bed. It's past their bedtime. They can't even watch it. They haven't been able to have a process through the Senate inquiry. We had 15,000 submissions in 24 hours. Why are we letting digital ID be a means of identification at all? It's not used at the moment at all, really. It's not in widespread use. So why don't we just rule that out right now? If it's something that comes into use in years to come, we can always change the law. There's a review built into this law in 2 years' time. We can do it then. If we were serious about responding to the concerns about digital ID, let's just get rid of it. And my amendment would do that. I've also think, why is it that we've got this bill that seeks to, we say, the minister says, to help parents, and the word parent is not mentioned at all in the bill. There's not a single mention of the word parent in this bill. Why? Why? Why aren't we helping parents rather than try to replace them? That's what this bill tries to do. It tries to set up a nanny state where we think here in Canberra that we can pass this law and all look how great we are, pat ourselves on the back, how we've saved the world, to replace them. That's what this bill tries to do. It tries to set up a nanny state where we think here in Canberra that we can pass this law and all look how great we are, pat ourselves.
I saw this on X, actually. So what I believe they've done here is, looked up a word and searched the whole bill to see if it's actually in the bill. Kind of like when you Command F, search a paragraph to find a word. And there's no mention of parent in this entire bill. No mention of the word parent in this bill. And I think that's one of the most worrying things. The government has a weird way of wanting to parent our kids, and I find that extremely worrying. Not even potentially working alongside parents. It is relinquishing all control from parents and saying, we're going to do this. Which the responsibility should be on the parents to be able to monitor these things. There should be checks and balances like there should be in all things. Boundaries are set up to make us thrive. But there's always going to be cases of bullying and such. I don't think banning kids up to the age of 16 is the way to do this. Because then you're just throwing your kid in the deep end when they hit the appropriate age to go on social media.
Parents use their own agency, their own interaction with their children to use social media responsibly. So I have an amendment which would allow some children to continue to use social media with parental approval. It's based on the law in Florida that's just gone through. Our inquiry barely looked at that law. It went through after an actual process. It got vetoed by the governor in the first instance. It went back to the Congress in Florida, and they've improved it. That's the way a democracy should work. But we've just completely rode roughshod over that through this hasty process, truncated process this week. I have another amendment that would seek to narrow the definition here. There's a ridiculous definition in this bill, which captures basically any app that enables interaction between two or more people, which is basically everything you do on the internet. It's going to cover apps like Strava. For bike riding, it's going to cover apps like Deputy that are used for people who work, 14-year-olds.
I mean, he's got a good point. If the term is so broad, it's coming for everything. Strava, that's such a funny point that he's making. So funny.
Can get a job, but they can't have social media apparently. Now, I know the minister's going to say that, we'll exempt them and we'll do all this, but why? Why create this uncertainty when, again, the Florida law has a much more targeted definition which focuses the law on apps which cause social harm? That's what we should be focused on here. Now, I don't have the time to go through the others in detail. I want to let other senators have their turn. But I do come back to the point that a whole generation has been activated by this process. There is a silver lining here, perhaps. Right now, a guy called Mr. Anthony Kaloof is running a live stream of our broadcast here. He has 38,000 people watching. The official YouTube channel of Parliament has 800. He's got 38,000 young people absolutely pissed off with this Parliament right now. They are totally angry. And those people are going to grow up. And they're going to keep voting. And I think there's going to be a lot of change coming to our Parliament years to come if we keep ignoring those people like we are tonight.
Drop the mic moment, my man. Wow. He's not wrong, though. The way media is presented is changing. People don't want to listen to mass corporations.
Through our age assurance trial, this will closely inform the implementation.
Government is spending $6.5 million to trial technology that can verify how old people are before they can access certain websites, games, or social media.
Should Australians be prepared for having their faces scanned to use social media? Should they be prepared to upload their documents to some sort of government database that social media companies can then tap into for age verification? I mean, what are the options here? As you say, the age assurance trial hasn't been finalised yet.
Well, this is exactly what the age assurance trial is informing. So in this year that we will take in terms of implementation, that will be the key focus.
The details haven't exactly been worked out yet. but it could include things like asking people to enter their date of birth before visiting a website, using AI to estimate someone's age, or even scanning IDs like passports or driver's licenses.
Will social media platforms be able to demand and collect personal data such as passports or driver's licenses from all existing or new account holders for age verification purposes? If not, how will age verification be obtained?
The member asked a very important question about privacy, and I will respond in a few parts. The first is that the legislation that we will bring to this Parliament will contain robust provisions as they pertain to privacy. This is a complex area, but it is one that we are determined to get right. It's one that we are determined to implement because we know what's at stake here.
So I think there are a number of ways in which we can do it. Is it perfect? No, but is there an option to do nothing? I just don't think that is a responsible course of action.
Of course, if you're testing to see if someone's 13 or 14 or 15 or 16, you're also testing to see, by definition, if they're 16 plus. So if there's going to be age verification, everybody is going to have to go through an age verification process, won't they?
Yes. Yes.
So this isn't just about the privacy or collecting data about kids. This is literally everybody accessing social media. That's how it has to work, isn't it?
Yes, and
Senator Shoebridge, you just used the term age verification. You may not have been in the room when we had a discussion about the distinction between age verification and age assurance. This is an age assurance trial.
This is, if you're going to have age assurance for kids 13, 14, 15 or 16, testing, if they're that age, you're testing everyone's age and you're doing it at that level of age assurance. And that has privacy and data protection implications for literally everybody accessing social media, doesn't it?
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why we've commissioned consumer research to look at consumer willingness and particular aspects that are important to them.
See what I was talking about? They're so uncertain about what they're even doing. Another potential way that they will verify people's age. Notice I said people and not minors because this is going to be for everybody. Biometric data algorithms, which again is a huge attack on privacy for all individuals. I also heard there might be a crypto agency token for age verification in the blockchain, which could potentially protect privacy, but that's up in the air as well with all this testing and whatnot. The government's role is to suppress evil through justice, but it seems they're more focused on parenting our children, which is some weird agenda that I'm sure they have on behind the scenes. I'm interested to see how this will play out. I'll keep you updated. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any videos. I'll catch you in the next one.